Here. Here.
Present.
Can you hear me? I'm not getting any
I can
sound.
hear you, but I can't hear anybody up on the desk. Thank you.
Concerned that it's not being picked up on the recording or that they can't hear anybody at the dais.
There we go.
We can hear somebody now up in the front. At least I
Okay.
can.
Okay.
So
That better?
hopefully if you guys put your microphones on, that Gabrielle and Tim will be able to hear you as well.
Okay.
But yes, now we're opening it up for nominations for the chair.
Anyone? You can nominate yourself if you'd like. No?
And nominate Nathan for chair.
Since he's not here,
Since he's been vice chair, he can step up.
Can we do that if he's not here?
do we know if Nathan would accept being the chair? Has anybody talked? Yeah.
I don't know.
I would suggest that you appoint somebody that is present at this meeting, and if you want him to remain as vice chair, then maybe that's an option as well.
John, you've been very active. Are you interested in the role of chair?
I would do vice chair.
Okay.
So what I would suggest then is if you want to keep Nathan as the chair, that you second it and we vote on it. And then we do the vice chair. And if that happens to be John, then he chairs this meeting in Nathan's absence. So you have a motion to nominate Nathan as the chair. You need a second.
I second that.
Okay. And then,
Favor?
yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All those opposed? Okay. Nathan will be our chair, and for vice chair? John, you're the nomination for vice chair? We need-
I second that.
And all those in favor, say aye,
Aye.
and all those opposed? And Gabrielle, we can't hear you, you're muted.
Is that better?
Better.
Thank you.
Okay, so Vice Chair John Kilstrom will be taking over the meeting. Do you have the agenda, John?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we're starting with agenda item number 4.
We have 2 new members, Gabrielle Blog and Tim. Is it large or large A or?
Large, just straightforward.
And I am not familiar with them. I know that appreciate anybody that is willing to work and serve on the board. Work on this. So we welcome both of you and look forward to meeting you in person and having you work with this group and move forward. Thank you.
Happy to serve.
Definitely.
Welcome.
Next would be approval of the August 28th, 2023 minutes. Do I hear any discussion that would be a need to correct anything on the minutes. Do we need to vote and approve those minutes then?
Second and
Yes, you would
approved,
need
yeah.
a
Okay.
motion to approve.
If there are no additions or corrections, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes for August 28th?
I motion we approve the minutes.
We have a second?
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? No. Next item would be business from the board. And I'm not exactly sure what that would be at this time. Is that there are certain things that have to be done according to the Gladstone municipal rules, the 2.10.050. There are certain things that have to be done. Item number 4, or number in there, the elections was done, but we also are supposed to have an annual work plan and a annual report.
I believe that'll be discussed at the next meeting, John.
Next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we would move on to roundtable discussion, and that would be everybody on the board, and we can just go through in rotation.
I was just wondering how long the construction would be along Portland for both the local, the Public Works building and then also the library, since those 2 sidewalks are out. I wasn't sure the timeline.
Anybody?
So I know with the public work, I'm sitting here so Tim and Gabrielle can see the back of my head on Zoom. And we apologize because we weren't set up for having them on Zoom, which is fine, but I think that's the issue with why we can't hear what they're saying. But from what I understand, the Public Works facility project will be complete by the end of May.
Oh, wow.
But the sidewalks and the enclosure that they have right now, the reason why the fence is out in Portland Avenue is because they're putting in new utilities and then new sidewalks and new pavement.
Okay.
So I'll know more on Thursday to how long it's going to be impeding into Portland Avenue.
Okay.
The library project is projected to be done, I believe, in July or August of this year. So both projects will be done this year. And we know that the concern is that the sidewalk is closed on the Portland Avenue side with Public Works. But like I said, I should have an update on Thursday about the timing of that.
Okay. And then I was wondering with Arlington, with this inclement weather we've had, I've noticed there's quite a few potholes, which causes cars to kind of go back and forth when they're driving. Is there a timeline for repairing that stretch of Arlington between 99 and Portland?
I think how Public Works likes to handle potholes is they have a schedule of when they will be patching them, but then we also need people to report them so that they can prioritize them there to do that. These are the kinds of concerns that we would take back to Public Works and follow up. I'm not privy to the extent of what the potholes are over there. Do you know, Sergeant?
Yeah, the potholes are rather numerous now. I do know that there were some pothole repairs happening last week. I don't know where those were happening at though.
Okay.
I happened to talk to one of the crews out doing that, and we'll definitely pass this along to Public Works about the potholes on Arlington.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if they fixed the one on Oatfield where they dug up for the water leak. There was a pretty significant hole there this morning.
I didn't hear about the water leak on Oatfield, so I'm not sure about that one.
There was one patched on Oakfield, I think, today. I'm pretty sure.
Anything else down there?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, I have my usual list that I bring. These are items for discussion. We can, put them on an agenda for next time, however we wish to do it. One item, would be that the Gladstone Monthly newspaper that comes out, I would like to see possibility of putting a traffic safety little blurb in there every month, like other things do. The library puts things in there, the senior center. And since we're the traffic safety, we could put something in every month around bicycle helmets, don't text and drive, et cetera, et cetera. Just something small in the newspaper. A while back, talked about accidents at Caldwell and Oatfield. Said that there'd been several accidents over the time period. Since that's a blind corner coming southbound, should there be a sign warning people that it is a blind corner? Next item I had is parking on one side only for the main drags going west and east, Arlington, Gloucester, Hereford, and Darlington from Portland Avenue to McLaughlin. We pass out bicycle helmets and give bicycle safety, but we don't have any bicycle lanes on those areas. People have to go up on the sidewalk or dodge traffic. Also, I note that a lot of people park up on the parkway, up all the way to the sidewalk in order to get away from getting tailgated and hit. There was one on Gloucester here back in November, I think, that I saw where it just totally crashed that truck back up into the fence and stuff. So, and I'm just wondering if we created parking on one side, give more traffic so you don't have to be dodging everything, and also create bike lanes in those areas. In a lot of the meetings that I've attended, I've heard issue about Darlington from Portland back to Oatfield, that it's wide. It's wide because originally there was a train track that went to the Chautauqua area. What is the issue that presents there? Is it speed? Does anybody know?
This is Dartmouth.
Yeah, East Dartmouth is what
Yeah.
you're referring to?
Yeah, that's not Dartmouth.
Oh, and
Yeah.
what exactly is the question?
In the past,
Right.
we had talked about it being speed is a problem. They just so wide, people
Yeah.
feel like they're on a
Mhm.
freeway and they come down a little hill and they really get going. And there's quite a few police stops, but in the past, we had talked to the chief and he said the next time the road had been resurfaced, it would include bike lanes and parking lanes, and that visual might help slow down traffic.
Yeah, that's, yeah, so the restriping is something that is part of the plan once the road gets resurfaced. And when restriping lanes, the narrower the lane is striped, the slower vehicles will travel on it. So it gives a perception that the road is narrower and cars will drive slower on a more narrow lane. So that should help with the speed calming. But I don't have a timeline for when that will happen.
Yeah, that's the risk with making parking on one side only, is that you have a potential of increasing the speeds to there because it's easier to transverse.
Right. And then your topic on the Oatfield Caldwell crashes. In my experience, responding to a couple crashes there, they're actually typically rear end crashes traveling northbound on Oatfield, not actually southbound. And it really does boil down to just a attentiveness issue by the at-fault driver. I think because there are crashes similar to that on other portions of Oatfield, and it's just because I really think it's because it's a main drive, and it's unusual. There's not a lot of left turns there. And so the few cars that are stopped, I think it's just a surprise to a lot of other drivers. So, yeah, so there are the northbound crashes, not the actual southbound crashes, which would, I think if you drove that, you would think they would be the southbound crashes, but yeah. Mhm.
It's hard to pull out when they're from Caldwell.
And then as far as the newsletter, that's, I do know that we, from time to time put out, blurbs about traffic safety related topics. But I will talk to the chief about, how we can, maybe designate a specific portion every month to one of those topics.
Something that I might suggest, because at your next meeting, you're going to be putting together your work plan, is that maybe one of your objectives is to have articles in the monthly newsletter, and here's the topics that we would like to cover for the year. So yes, I think that that would be a good item to have in your work plan for that.
Right.
Be thinking about what type of themed articles that you would like to include there.
The last item that I have on my list, I don't know that's been discussed or it's ever been discussed, is combining meetings with the Public Works. Oregon City, Milwaukee do that, and it brings everybody together that knows what's going on with pothole repairs, other infrastructure things that are going to be being done. Some of these others, they also include, they have the police, they also have the fire. Everybody comes in and has a good overview of what's going on within the city instead of segmented. So just like to throw that out for discussion. At that, we can go to,
Oh, wait,
John,
yes.
online. Tim, I saw your hand up at one point.
Yes, I have a question, and I don't know if this is the appropriate place for it. Mostly it's just, would you prefer that Gabrielle and I attend these meetings in person? And can you guys introduce yourselves? Because I figured out who one person is.
It's my fault.
so
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
I'm Christy Walls. I'm the executive assistant for the police department.
I'm Carlene Cox, and your camera, I think I'm the little striped one. I'm Mindy Prosky.
And I'm John Kilstrom.
I'm Jackie Betts. I'm the city administrator.
Nice to meet you all. Would you prefer that we attend these meetings in person, or I was led to believe that Zoom was how we should attend?
Yeah, that was my impression as well.
We offer a hybrid of meetings. I can say that most of our volunteer committees are meeting in person. So if that is an option for you, Tim and Gabrielle, that would be preferred. However, if you want to be on Zoom, that is fine. We will just be better set up next time with our equipment for that.
Two other questions. When do we receive a copy of the minutes?
So I usually send those out the week before, so you can preview those.
Okay. And is there, and maybe I just haven't found it yet, is there a list of all future related meetings online, or are they just sent to us as they come?
So the meetings are for traffic safety. We hold one in January and one in February, and then we go to every other month. So we would be April, June, August, October, and then we do not have meetings November and December. And I can
Okay.
send you a list of the dates.
That would be helpful, just that way I've got it. I'm a planner, so.
Yeah, that would be helpful for me too, actually.
And you should have received the minutes in the email that I sent out last week.
I did, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
And I had a quick question. I was wondering how easy it would be to get some kind of report on traffic safety in the Gladstone area, you know, like traffic stops and, you know, accidents and, you know, those sorts of things. So we would have a basis sort of that's a little more current than I think the one that I saw in the report going forward that we could all discuss.
So I've sent out information before on traffic crashes and I can update that list and send that out to everybody if you'd like.
That would be great. Thank you. I don't, because I have only been in Gladstone for a while now, and so I'm not as familiar with all of the traffic hotspots.
Okay, I will send one out for the 2023 year so you can see what's going on with that.
Thank you.
I believe that the police chief also in the city council meeting presents a lot of the statistics as to traffic stops and, you know, all that type of information that is put out.
And you can
Yeah.
find it in the monthly report also. We
Mhm.
list how many traffic crashes. We don't list where they are, but I'll send a more detailed one out for you guys.
Yeah, it was really I would like to be able to see, you know, what are the traffic hotspots
Mhm.
from the report. So
Yep, I'll send that out to you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Any other further discussion from any of the members?
Maybe traffic safety, but I thought at one point we were gonna paint that intersection at Dartmouth and Portland. I was wondering if anyone had an update on that.
You mean the art paint
Yes.
project?
Yes.
It actually has been postponed simply because of the new library project.
Okay.
And
makes sense.
The city decided to do murals instead,
Mhm.
which they've been working on, and we're probably going to continue down that path.
Okay.
That doesn't say, though, that when the library is finished, that that's something that we might reconsider, is to painting that. We're going through a process right now in our planning department of creating a Gladstone Town Center. And that is part of our climate friendly and equitable communities process that we have to do. And so I do believe Dartmouth and Portland Avenue will still become that town center area. So it still could happen in the future
Okay.
during there.
Cool.
Any further discussions? If not, we'll close that and we'll go to item number 10.
Nope, we're gonna go to item number 8.
8, I mean, yep.
And we're gonna
Please.
start with Jackie. That's
And I just wanted to welcome all of you. It's a new year. It's a new start. Typically, I don't attend the advisory meetings, but I thought that this would be a good time to have in your packet what the roles and responsibilities are of the traffic safety. One of the things that Chief and Sergeant Okerman and I've talked about is we want to have productive meetings with tangible results. And so, John, the items that you listed down, those are perfect examples of what we should be putting in a work plan of what we want to achieve for the year. And so I just wanted to make sure that at your next meeting, as you prepare your annual work plan, that you are looking at the specific requirements because you are an advisory board to the city council and you make recommendations. The other thing that Chief and I've talked about is we should include the police department monthly report in these packets because there is a lot of good information that is already generated to the city council. And we're doing the same for the Parks and Rec Board is we're taking the Public Works monthly report and putting it in there so that they have the same information that the elected officials are getting. I think it's a good point to note. A lot of cities do have a combination of public works and police that attend their traffic safety meetings. And even if it's not an ongoing commitment, I think having the public works director and the police chief sharing on some of these updates would be very helpful. So I think that should be an objective in the work plan as well. And I also just wanted to call attention because we do have a couple of new members is that the city is going to be doing our annual Oregon Ethics Government Training on Zoom. It's January 31st, and this is training that our city attorneys provide all of our volunteers because you are public officials when you're representing the city. And so I would encourage all of you, if you can, to participate in that training on the 31st. I think that is the items that I wanted to go over. Sergeant Okerman has some things that he would also like to talk to the commission about.
Yes.
I appreciate your comments on that. Ms. Huckabee and I discussed along the way, what happens to this stuff in these meetings? Does it disappear into a black hole? And I'm glad to hear that, no, it's not just going to disappear into a black hole, that there'll be actions taken on these items.
Well, there's no sense in meeting just to meet. We need to have good follow-up and get results. And I'm very structured, and I think having a work plan, and you're going to hear a few things from the sergeant about other things that we would like you to be involved with this year as well. So.
Yeah, so and again, I'm Sergeant Matt Okerman. I'm filling in for Chief Schmerber today. So I guess I can start with the stats that we have. We have the yearly stats here for 22 to 23, which we saw an overall decrease in the number of traffic stops that were made, but we have an increase in the number of traffic citations that were issued. And I think some attribution to that can be to the changing in our staffing at the police department right now that we're, we have several open positions still that we're still trying to fill. And so we're trying to bring our numbers back up to where they were in 22. And so those traffic stop numbers should start coming up again. And then, so similarly, the DUI stops, arrests were down a few from 51 to 44. And our parking citations overall were down pretty significantly, but oh, it's the other way around. Okay.
Because everything's in.
Oh, everything's, I think I'm confused then. So disregard what I just told you. So then it looks like our stops are up and but our citation numbers are down.
Yes.
Yes, okay. And then our parking citations are up, and that's attributed to our new code enforcement officer, our community service officer, Von McNeil, out being very proactive in the parking enforcement area. And then our DUIs are up last year as well by a few. So, and hopefully we can keep those numbers increasing. And our traffic safety grant that we get from ODOT in the areas of DUI enforcement, distracted driving, seatbelts and speed, all of those really help with the increase in our traffic stop numbers because we have to meet a certain number of stops per hour to meet the requirements for those grants. And so those help really bring up the numbers in the amount of traffic stops we can make. And so when we have someone working that traffic grant detail, they're only here focused solely on traffic enforcement. So that's really helped. Even with our staffing being down, we still have officers that'll come in on their days off to work these overtime details. We're still able to have that visibility out there and keep those numbers. The next thing that I want to hit on is kind of what your role as the Traffic Safety Advisory Board can do. And really a lot of that has to do, City Administrator Betts already talked about your involvement in moving things forward with the plan for the year. And that is something that Chief Schmerber is going to be reaching out to the chair and vice chair when he gets back to set meeting time to meet and discuss and go over the transportation plan and potential strategies going forward with that. And these things that John had mentioned. And so that in combination with the strategies for potential tolling and then the changes that the legislature made to the photo red light and radar bills that were passed and what those impacts can be for the city and how what your guys' role can be with those changes in the statutes. So he does want to meet with you about that. And then really the biggest, I think, visible impact that the community can see from this board is really the participation that the board has done over the community festival and the interactions that you guys have with the citizens there talking about that stuff. We also with the bicycle rodeo that's happening again this year. That's generally in May. I don't have a set date for that yet, but we're finalizing those details. And so that's always a great event to get you guys out, interact with the public. We also have the 4th of July barbecue that the police department puts on, and that you guys are invited to come help with that event as well. And then we do a shred event, e-recycle participation, and prescription drug recycling that we do all at the same time here. And that's a great event that that you guys can help with as well to foster that relationship. We also have Halloween that the police department has a booth at with the city at the big Halloween event downtown. So those are the big events that we have throughout the year. And then an ongoing program we have is the bicycle helmet giveaways and the car seat inspection program that we have. And with that, we did get a grant for car seats, and so we'll be able to hand some of those out. And so we're working on the procurement for that. And our CSO McNeil, she's a car seat technician, and she's been doing 1 to 2 car seat inspections a week here at the police department. That these new parents come in with their car seats, and she helps teach them how to use it correctly and to make sure that their kids are, young little babies are car seated in appropriately and safely. So and it's a very educational opportunity, and the parents are just super thankful for it. And even one of our officers learned a lot from her in that, and with their new kids. So it's kind of it's a very neat program, and she really enjoys being able to do that. And so we look at that program, and we're trying to expand that a little bit more too.
With that program, what is the process? Like if we wanted to promote it and say, hey, you can get your car seat checked, like how would we direct someone to use that resource?
Yeah, so currently, right now, we have had some, I think in the newsletter that there was a notice put out in the newsletter for that. And that's something that we can continue to do with the newsletter. And right now they reach out to Yvonne McNeil, and she sets an appointment with them because it's a little bit of a longer process. I think she takes a half hour, 45 minutes to go through those. And so that's why she only does a couple a week. Can be sometimes, we get a lot of people, several people can call in a week. And so she has to schedule those out. And but it's something that we can just push that information out. We can push it out on like our Facebook page as well. So we can do that and leave with her contact information. People call or email her to set those appointments up.
Okay, so it's just contacting Yvonne and then she does her own scheduling.
Yeah. She takes care of scheduling all those. Yep.
Is that something you're looking for additional volunteers for? Like, assuming there's a process of what you have to go through to get certified?
Yeah, so there is a several day certification to become a car seat technician. Then you have to complete so many in a year and be checked off for recertification. I don't know, that's something that we've been talking about, is expanding that and bringing on when we bringing on these new officers, is to, when we appoint the SRO, is to have them be a car seat technician as well. And so that way we can at least have 2 people to do it. And then we've been talking about having a car seat event, and like an inspection event, and to where it can be something that where we bring in additional partners that volunteer from like American Medical Response, AMR, that help with the lifeguards at High Rocks. They have car seat technicians as well that we can partner with, and other agencies, and we can host an event like on a weekend, on like a Saturday for 4 hours or something, and have an event like that. So that's something that we've been talking about as we kind of expand that program a little bit. So that can be something that we talk about in the for the yearly plan as well.
Great, thank you.
And then another thing that the chief wanted me to make sure I bring up is the possibility of bringing on a high school student as a liaison to the board. And that's city council in the process of creating a youth council. And so that would kind of be tied to that. And so kind of bring in more of the younger generation to, provide their perspective to what's going on. And so that's kind of something that's in the works with city council, is the youth council, excuse me. And so to bring a liaison with that to the board. So that's something else that we're looking for.
So Sergeant, if I'm correct, I was just going down through your list, and I know they don't have a copy of it, but typically if we do a shred event, it's April-ish.
Yeah, end of April, beginning of May.
Bicycle rodeo is May.
Yep.
4th of July is July. Community Festival is August, and the Halloween event is October. So there are 5 events right there that we would love to have your involvement with. And then if we schedule bike helmet clinics or car seat programs, there's additional opportunities there as well. So all of those will fit nicely into an annual work plan, we believe, when you guys put that together.
So if there's any questions about any of that, I'm happy to answer those.
And we'll send the dates to you once they're confirmed.
Yes, yeah. As soon as we get confirmed dates, we'll make sure you guys are included.
Any other discussion at this time?
I do have one question. In Meldrum Bar Park, when you're on the side that's facing the Clackamas River, and there's a little trail that kind of goes almost all the way under 99. Has it ever been explored to go all the way under 99? So pedestrian, like to expand that trail to where it would pop up the sidewalk on the other side, rather than have pedestrians crossing 99 going under it?
Yeah, and this is where we cross-pollinate with another board, the Parks Board, that's been exploring that.
Okay.
And right now, Metro has funds available to acquire property for trail connectivity. And we call this the Doll Beach connection.
Okay.
And it is the piece underneath the bridge.
Mhm.
It's something that is, the lead is through Metro, and they have met with the city to see if we're interested in pursuing that. And so that is a project that is in the Clackamas Greenway plan that they have. But again, I think that that's where there's value sometimes in overlapping these conversations with Public Works being here,
Mhm.
so that we can share this type of information with the traffic board as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
I would just like to put in a plug. I have done the shred event, the 4th of July barbecue, and the community festival before, and they're a blast. So I love doing these events. It's a really great way to get us out there and into the community in a really fun and a really positive way. I was thrilled to see how many people came through the shred event and how many prescriptions we kept out of our landfills and our waterways. And so I just wanted to plug that the events are really great. So happy to do them again this year.
Will they be partnering with Klaxberger for the electronics also?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, the Cracksburg Robotics Club's always invited to that, yeah.
And I was thrilled to see a lot of my stuff go to them too.
Any other comments from the board? If not, is there any community input? I know there's no one on site, but is there anything on the web or anything?
No, I did not have anybody, request to speak.
Tim has his hand up though.
I do
Pardon?
have my.
Tim has his
digital
hand up.
Um, in the
Just like
interim
you.
of getting Public Works people
I got
into,
it.
into this meeting, it might be helpful and faster and maybe even easier to get their meeting minutes as well, so we could just review them and know what they're talking about.
The monthly report from Public Works or the Parks Board minutes?
That
I
might be
wasn't
too.
sure I heard.
So if we're trying to involve Public Works as well, you might find resistance of having, getting somebody to be in another meeting. But if they record their minutes as well and we can review them, at least we can know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and all of those are online and are ready to read now. So maybe what Christy can do is send a link to the city's meetings page. And you could actually go through and listen to Community Center Advisory Board meeting, the Planning Commission. You can listen to any of them. And we have audio, video, and you can also access just the written minutes from that.
Okay.
I'll send that out for you guys too.
Is there a next meeting February? Do I see that? Okay. If nothing else, I take a motion to adjourn.
Need a
I'll
second.
make the,
Second.
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.